Hey everybody, it's Brendon. Welcome to week number 6 of your high performance training, where we're going to focus on high performance purpose. You know, the most extraordinary people I've ever worked with or studied in my life had a profound sense of purpose about their life. But it wasn't the way everyone commonly thinks about purpose, so I think you're going to really love these sessions in this week. I also want to congratulate you for being here. You know, we're closing out the main sessions of High Performance Academy here. This is week number 6. It's our last official week before we start that monthly webcast and training every month as part of the rest of your year. So I just want to congratulate you for being here. I honor your journey, your struggle, your ambition, your will, your desire, your discipline. All of that magic that's part of you that says, you know what, I'm a motivated person to improve my life. That's why you're here. That's why I honor you. You know, there's just not a lot of people in the world who are on a consistent focus in their life to improve all areas of their lives. And the fact that you are here and the fact that you've been going through this journey with us in high performance tells me you already are a purposeful person. You're thinking about your life at a level of depth that most people never even glance. You know, a lot of folks live that unexamined life. And you being here, I just know, you're already a high performer. I can congratulate you now and end the session and walk out of here and we're all good. But I want to spend this time with you talking about purpose at a broad level and maybe going deeper into my own personal experience in this realm and helping clients reach their own levels of higher performance and purpose. Because at the end of the day, all this methodology we've learned in high performance, everything that we've been studying, all the tools, all the practices, everything you've been learning to do and change in your own life, those things are really amplified by your level of presence and purpose in life. When you feel fully alive, alert, conscious, aware, understanding, observational of the world, and you feel like there's a meaning behind it. There's a reason that you have a faith, if anything, in yourself or a higher power, or a higher purpose, a higher reason to all of it. It makes it all just go smoother. You know, it makes everything feel just, not as random or clunky. It makes it feel like there's an alignment to our lives. And when we have that alignment, when we have that meaning, when we have that purpose, life just feels better. And it keeps us on aim during the time when the rough waters hit. When all this stuff falls apart, when the promotion doesn't go well, when the career falls apart, when the kids leave the house, when major life transitions and times come in our life where there's a lot of conflict or uncertainty, having a grounded purpose helps us navigate that better. It gives us a sort of a solid foot, a solid foundation, a feeling in a sense that this too shall pass, that things will be okay. And so I know that in so much of what we'll be covering here, this might be really preaching to the choir. I mean, you're here. I mean, after 6 weeks, the fact that you are here tells me you're already an extraordinarily purposeful person. So I hope that these distinctions just helped you get a little more depth to that, a little bit more focus in this area of your life. Because a lot of people, when they're unsure of their purpose, they stop focusing on it. They're like, I don't know, I'll figure it out later. And they just get busy about working and they get busy about their career, but they forget other aspects of life. And all of a sudden, even all that success or that progress can feel devoid of joy and real meaning, or worse, real gratitude. That sometimes as we're moving ahead and everything's going great and we're just crushing it, but we don't feel a connection to the purpose of it all, we also don't feel that level of heart that's grateful for it. So we're going through the motions, but we're not feeling life. Purpose will bring the feeling back to life, right? You can get all the progress, all the tools, all the strategies, but without purpose, there's no joy, there's no pop, there's no depth, there's no feeling. So let's talk about that, because I think there's lots of misconceptions and myths about purpose. And I think that some folks, if you can change the angle you're viewing this conversation from, we can get you performing at the highest levels. The first thing we've got to talk about is that purpose is not a singular thing. In the personal development world, and including the high performance arenas, there's a lot of people who really feel like purpose must be this mission statement, this one sentence. It's very popular in personal development to go to these big seminars and someone, busts out a piece of paper or a worksheet or a big flip chart and says, okay, write out your life's purpose. And maybe you've done that before. Maybe at your house somewhere is hanging your life's purpose, But what we found about that is the same that research has shown in organizational cultures where they put up a big mission statement on the wall. It doesn't change the culture. Having a statement or a singular sentence doesn't change people's lives. We wish it did, but it's not enough. Looking at it, revisiting it, living it, feeling it, yes, maybe, but most people don't do that. They write down the sentence, right? They have this purpose statement. They write down the purpose statement, and they're proud of it, and they show it to their family or their friends once in a while, and life goes on, and suddenly that thing gets, on the wall, and they don't look at it anymore, or it falls into, the garage somewhere, and 4 or 5 years later, they're like, oh, look at my purpose statement. Wow, I've been a real ass. They kind of forget what they wrote down. And what we've learned from all the science of real personal change, like human behavioral change, a sentence is not enough. It's why throughout this course I've done so many things to give you tools like triggers that you put on your phone, or doorway triggers that you walk in that are constant reminders of your identity. Even as much as we can ground it in purpose, we just need more reminders. So let me share this. If you've written down your purpose statement, awesome. Look at it every day. It's got to show up on your phone, it's got to show up on your computer, and you need to read it with emotion, feeling, power, intention. Otherwise, it doesn't work. But I'll also share that you're never, ever going to define your real life's purpose in a single sentence. Because let me ask you this. If you haven't looked at your purpose statement that you wrote down a long time ago, if you wrote a new one today, would it be the same? Most people would say no. It shifts. It changes a little bit. Or not that your purpose in life could change, but the reality is our areas of focus change. Yes, our purpose, we all want to be loving, caring, giving, generous, happy people, right? We all want to experience those things. But, sometimes one value rises above the other one. Your purpose kind of changes when you have kids for a little bit. Your purpose kind of changes when you start living in a new town, or you have a major transition in your life. Just things change. I've never personally found or seen anyone find tremendous value in writing some purpose statement. I feel like it's an interesting endeavor, it's important, and it can give you some focus and intentionality. So I hope it doesn't sound like I'm bemoaning it. I'm like, if you do it, do it. Just like everything in high performance. If you're gonna do it, focus on it. Put lots of feeling, emotion, intensity, recurring thought, and revisitation on those things, and anything can work. Anything can work. I just want to emphasize the reality of what we know from behavioral change and the reality of what we know from life. Things will change for you. Your purpose statement, you might need to revisit that every Sunday. You might need to revisit that every month. You might need to revisit that every year. It's not going to be, you're never going to say, I got this life figured out. And the time that you feel like that is the time you kind of move away from high performance because you stop learning. And what I want you to do is not to have to be so certain and definitive about everything in your life. There are mysteries to this world. I'm sure you feel it. There's a mystery of how everything works in your body. There's a mystery to how the environment works and nature works. There's a mystery to how the cosmos works. There's a mystery to how God works. We don't know. We don't know all the plans. We don't know all the moving parts. So to try to find something that's so definitive and singular, I feel like is why a lot of people struggle. And it's a lot of reasons that people don't feel like they have purpose. Because they think they have to have this one simple thing. And it's like, if I could just figure out the one thing, Brendon. And I'm like, life is complex. You've got lots of family. You've got lots of friends. You've got lots of obligations, responsibilities, dreams, values. In that big soup of life, sometimes you like the flavor, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're happy and satiated with it. Sometimes you're not. That's okay. The reality is that purpose is a variable thing. That your purpose in any given situation, your purpose in a meeting can be one specific thing, and that purpose when you go home that night and with your family, it's a different thing. Now, again, we can give you the identity themes that we talked about earlier in this course where it's like, okay, what kind of person do you want to be to specific people in your life? But each of those can be an individual purpose too. Your purpose as a father might be different than your purpose as a husband, right? Yes, be loving, but with those relationships, it might shift. So what I want to do is if you've faced this existential dilemma where you're just like, I don't feel grounded and I want that one thing, I'm here to tell you, you're never going to walk out your front door and the piano of purpose falls on your head and you're like, thank you, God, for the perfect sentence to describe how this is supposed to be going. It's not going to be there. There's a reason the Bible's not one page, ladies and gentlemen. Life is complex. Let's stop thinking it's one thing. The Bible's this thick. Most spiritual texts in the world are thick. Why? Life's complex. So if you don't feel connected to your purpose, maybe it's time to take a little step back from that expectation that everything has to be so neat and so clean and one little thing. And you say, you know what? The best I can do is have intention in each of the situations that I walk into. The best that I can do is have a high level of intention about who I want to be, how I want to interact with people, and what I want to be doing with my time, my focus, my energy, my mission, my career, my life. Have intention in those areas. And as you have intention in those areas, you start to feel more purposeful. The idea is not to have one singular purpose statement. The idea is to have a sense of purpose each day of our lives, each situation of our lives, each relationship of our lives. The more intention we have there, the more we feel like we're being purposeful. Not having a purpose, big picture, but feeling purposeful as we manage the ups, the downs, the crazy, the chaos of what life really is. I hope that serves you. For those who that feels completely inadequate, and you're like, dude, that is not the answer I was looking for, the good point is, I have 4 more points for you. Okay, the first one is, here's a simple one. For those tacticians, for those people like, dude, give me the answer, give me some purpose, just tell me what to do. The easiest thing ever, go revisit your Life Arenas assessment. Remember, week number 2 here in High Performance Academy, we drew out the life arenas. Look, we only have 6 major areas of our life, right? Remember those? We've got, first and foremost, our health. We've got our loving or intimate relationships. We've got our family and friends, our broader relationships. We've got our mission, which is our career, our art, the areas that we're generous in our lives, what we're focused on and what we're doing. We've got our hobbies, and we've got our spirit. These are the major areas of our life. And as you will remember, all we said is, look, depending on what your real levels of attention and awareness and action and affect are in each of those areas, we can shift and shape them. So those who feel like, Brendon, just give me something to work on, you've got 6 life arenas in your life. If you need a purpose, here's what that purpose can be for all of us. Grow and improve in each of those areas. If our lifelong pursuit was simply to be more focused and dedicated and energized and ambitious, to grow in each of those areas, to give in each of those areas, and to be grateful in each of those areas, you'll feel purposeful because you'll feel like I'm on track, I'm doing something here. I've got a goal, you know, because what some people feel like they lack purpose because they don't feel like they have an overarching life goal. Well, here it is. There's 6 main areas of your life. Make it a goal to improve and develop greater levels of growth and generosity and gratitude in each of those areas. As you do that, you will start to feel more purposeful. You'll have an aim. You'll start looking holistically at your life. And when you are focusing on a goal holistically across your life, you start to feel like you have a broader life purpose, right? That all elements of your life are tied together in some kind of commonality. And that commonality is, again, you growing in those areas, you giving in those areas, you feeling greater depths of gratitude and appreciation, right? A great formula for purpose. To give, to grow, and to ultimately feel grateful in each of those areas. So just think about that. If you really need an aim, that can be your aim. So go back, watch that, or listen to that training again. Revisit your life arenas every single week. Maybe you just make a focus on your Sundays when you have your practice, or you go to church, or you have some spiritual practice, or you just take a few moments to journal about your life, pop out that life arenas. It's been in every performance planner I've given you. Just rate yourself and ask, what could I do better in each of these areas? How could I feel more grateful? How could I give more in each of these areas? And that will make you start to feel that conceptual awareness about life, where it's goal-driven and where there's meaning to it. And once there's meaning, once there's momentum, you'll start to feel that greater depth of purpose in each of those areas. My personal path has all been about number 3. This has been huge for my life, and as I've shared this around the world, I see it resonate with people so deeply. And I hope that you'll consider doing this today. And that is to define your organizing life questions. I'm here today because, as you know, after my car accident, when I was a 19-year-old kid, I learned that at the end of our lives, we're all going to ask 3 basic questions. Those questions aren't just my opinion, they were my experience. But now, as I've shared that all around the world, as I've been with people in the latter parts of their lives, as well as the last moments of their life and the last days of their lives, I've seen it resonate over and over and over that at the end of your life, you will ask questions to evaluate whether or not you were happy with your life. And my message has been, for 20 years now, if you will just figure out what those questions are going to be for you, it gives you organizing principles to live your life by so you're happy with the answers. So in my case, as many of you know, that first question that I faced as I was sort of sliding into death's doorway is, did I live? Did I live my life? Was I alive and vibrant and cheerful? Was I truly alive? Was I here? And did I live my life? Not somebody else's life, not my parents' life or my professor's life or my peers' life, my life. Was it uniquely my own? Did I show up being fully who I really am, alive each day? Or did I ho-hum through the days, go through the motions, follow the herd? No. Was it my life? And I knew in those moments, as I faced my death's doorway, I thought about that question. Did I really live? I hadn't. At that age, not knowing and appreciating life at any level of real depth, having been suicidal in the months before that accident, I hadn't lived. I'd been thinking about taking my life because I didn't have a sense of purpose. I didn't have a sense of connection. I didn't have a sense of something organizing around my life. That theme of my life became aliveness. Did I live? No, I really haven't yet. I want to. I want more adventure, more joy, more pulse, more presence, more energy in my life. And that one question, did I live, has organized all of my life, all of my growth, all of my experiences, all of my relationships around this theme of aliveness. And I share this with you because maybe that's one of your questions, maybe it's not. The reality is my 3 questions might not be your 3 questions. So find out what yours are. Just sit down and really meditate or think or take a long walk or lay down with your eyes closed and just think, okay, if today was my last day, how would I evaluate if I was happy with my life? And even that's a question, isn't it? So you'll figure out, you're going to ask some questions. You're going to be like, was I a good mom? Did I take care of the temple that my God gave me? Did I feel like I gave something back to people? Did I enjoy it? Did I feel a sense of peace and presence each day? Did I do the things that I cared about? All these questions you might ask. So I don't know what yours are. I would just love for you to try to figure out, what are the 3 questions? My second question was, did I love? Because as we were sliding off the road in this car accident, the car hit this little retainer wall. We were going about 85 miles around this corner. And we hit this little retainer wall that they used for a nearby sugarcane ditch. And it popped the car up. And we flipped several times. And I'd smacked my head, and I saw these images of these times in my life when I was surrounded by people that I cared about. I saw family members. I saw moments. I just saw, I didn't see little Brendon there. I saw just life. I saw little scenes from my life when I was surrounded by people that I loved. And it made me think of who I loved in my life, who I would miss in my life, who loved me, who might miss me. And it made me think about relationships. It made me think about this ultimate question of, did I love? And I didn't like the answer to that question either, because I'd been so brokenhearted in a relationship that what I started doing was blocking people out. I started creating this barrier between me and other people, because you know how it goes. Sometimes you get brokenhearted, so you build up all these walls to keep out the bad guys, But in turn, who can't get in? The good guys. And sometimes in our own self-protection, we block out the very thing we so desperately desire, and no other place is that so true as in love. And so I said, did I love? And after my accident, I recovered, and I got to be with family and friends and tell the story about it. I felt such a deep connection with people in my life, and that has become an organizing theme and principle of my life, which is love. And I share that with you because, I mean, if you think about it, that one simple question, has changed everything for me, because I would never have this relationship with you if I didn't love your ability to progress, your ability to care about yourself, your ability to dedicate yourself to a course and a program like High Performance Academy. I love you for that, because you know what? Most people, they won't do that kind of thing. What you've dedicated yourself, I love that in you. And that connection with my audience, of having a deep, heartfelt connection with them, because I know everyone's going through the same journey I did and the same journey I am going through. We're all on the same path. There is a oneness to all of this. And that love for me became an ultimate organizing life question. And so every day I go to bed and I think, did I love today? And when I'm a jerk to a family member or a friend, I apologize like this. I mean, even if I snap, even if some weird, I ate some bad kale and I have a bad mood, what do I remember? I remember that at the end of the day, I'm going to ask, did I love wholeheartedly today? And it's not going to let me be a jerk. It's not going to let me be mean. It's not going to let me lose kindness, compassion, empathy, understanding, curiosity about other people. That never goes away, because that question meant something to me. So what other question might mean to you? I would always tell people, whatever your life questions are, I can share with you, one of the questions should be related to relationships. Whatever it is for you, it's got to be there, because in the final hours or final moments, we're around some people. We're around our family and friends if they've gathered to be with us, if there's that moment that we get to experience their love before we transition. But even if not, we might be around our caretakers, our nurses, or our doctors. And even if we're ultimately just alone as we pass, and that happens for lots of people, they still wonder about those moments in their life when they really enjoyed it. And they often think about the people they were with. And so some organizing principle of our purpose must have some kind of connection to our relationships, because connection is one of the unique things that we have. Our bonds, our connections, our togetherness, our groups, our acceptance. It's one of the things, that level of depth that we have as a human species, that have kept us all alive. It's why we haven't all nuked each other. That we are still alive says something about the sociability of our human species. It's pretty extraordinary. So maybe there should be something about that with your question. My last question, as you know, is, did I matter? Did I make a difference? Maybe I didn't change the whole world, but I changed some people's lives in some significant way. Did I give something from the gifts that I have been given? That question of, did I bring purpose to this world? Did I bring some type of meaning or depth to this world? Was all part of this question of, did I matter? And I asked that question standing on the hood of the car as I was bleeding, and I thought I was going to die. And I just remember thinking and feeling every ounce of my body, did I matter? And I didn't even know what that meant when I asked it. I thought I was going to blink out of life. And as I was feeling that sensation, it just made me thought, was there a reason to all of this? And we may never know the ultimate reason handed from above or in the cosmos, but we know that we can reason as human beings about what our life will be about. And that's a true gift. And so what's your ultimate reason? What is your ultimate purpose? We may never know that. But what we do know is that we can bring intentionality each day to make a difference. And I've never met somebody who couldn't connect with that in some way or another. That part of this overarching aspect of purpose is making that difference, of giving something. It doesn't matter just giving it to the kids, giving it to the neighbors, giving just joy to the world, giving good energy to the world, giving a good attitude to the world, giving good work, good art, good ideas, good concepts, good role modeling. Whatever it is, we want to sense that we gave some good to the world. And it doesn't have to be some grandiose thing. I mean, some of the most intimate and beautiful moments I've ever seen in my life has been with people in the latter parts of their life, cancer patients, even including my own father, as we watched him pass in 2009 from acute myeloid leukemia. And, my dad was a very, very simple, caring, loving guy who he never had big, huge aspirations and dreams outside of caring for his family, being a good father, and contributing to the family. I mean, there was no big thing. He didn't want to have a suit and tie and a big glass building and overlooking some big empire. But in the end, his simple example and message to us made all the difference. He taught me the most important lessons of my life. Be yourself. Be honest. Do your best. Take care of your family. Treat people with respect. Be a good citizen. Follow your dreams. My dad's 7 lessons to me have been shared over 50 million times on the internet. And I can share with you the extraordinary sort of surprise and joy and gratitude I have from that. And here was a guy who, he never wrote a book on the topic. His influence on me led to a generational shift. It led to literally millions of people hearing his message, even though that wasn't his thing. But I've also been with people whose message will never share beyond them, where their family and friends, it was a connection they had that was beautiful, and it might not ever leave the room in which they died. None of that is something to be sad about or glorified. What it means is that each of us in our own way has the opportunity to make a difference with the people around us by sharing a good message, by being a good role model, by caring for the people around us. If the best thing you ever did was you were simply a good role model for the people around you, you kept a good attitude, you kept your wits about you, you were generous and caring, empathetic, understanding to other people, you followed your heart and what you wanted to do with your life, if people just saw that from you, and that was it, some people got to see that, and they found some meaning or inspiration to do that in their own lives, you're good. It doesn't have to be millions of people. So many people they feel like their purpose will one day be fulfilled. And I'm like, it will. Yesterday it happened, and it happens today too. Your purpose is fulfilled each day. Like living purposefully means you get that gift of going to bed and saying, I lived my truth today. I lived to my values and my principles today. There's purpose in that aim, in that goal. And that's why I share with you that these questions have such a profound effect. So one of the things I'd love to do is we're going to pause the video here, and we'll break it up into segments, because what I would love for you to do is spend some time and just really meditate and think on, how am I going to evaluate my life at the end? How will I know that I am happy, complete, fulfilled, joyous, peaceful with my life? If it's in your last moments of life, how would you know you lived a good life? I really want you to meditate on that. Then come up with those evaluative questions you would ask yourself to be able to gauge that answer. And those questions now can become a unifying theme about your life. My themes are aliveness, my themes are loving, my themes are making a difference. Those themes, every decision I have, I filter through those themes. Every action I take throughout the day comes through those themes. My entire identity comes through those themes, because I want to know at the end I'm happy with my life. I did something with it, that I lived my life, that I loved, that I made a difference. What are your 3 questions? Take the time to meditate. They don't have to be perfect. They might change as you age. It's not about perfection with purpose. It's about intention with purpose. Have the intention, and that purpose might change along the way, but by having the intention and acting from that space each day, behaving from that space each day, you will feel more purposeful. So pause this program right now and come up with what 3 questions you might ask. And yes, it doesn't have to be 3 questions. You might do 5 or 10. I don't care what it is. Do the activity and start living your life from those questions. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back, everybody. I hope you did that activity from session 1 here on week number 6, where you sat and you thought about, what are my questions I'm going to ask myself at the end of my life so I'm happy with the answers. If you did that, you just found an organizing set of themes or principles that will help you feel even more connected to each day. And I hope that you'll truly do that. I've gone to bed every night for over 19 years of my life asking, did I live today? Did I love today? Did I matter today? And I really believe it's been that focus and then that intention and that evaluative criteria. We have to evaluate ourselves. And as we judge ourselves in that way, we start to feel like, wow, I better get my stuff together. And some people, they don't like the idea of judgment, especially in a conversation about purpose where we should all accept ourselves. We should all be amazing. We should, everything is perfect. I'm like, it's not. When you're a jerk, that's not perfect. When you're not doing the responsibilities and obligations you got in your life, that's not perfect. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Honesty requires evaluative criteria and judgment against our values, against our ethics, against what we believe is right in life. It's okay to judge ourselves. So when I judge myself every night, did I live today? Even if I'm like, you know what? I was kind of boring today. I'm okay with it. I don't hate myself. There's no self-judgment that is leading to self-hate. For me, what happens is in that self-judgment, it just helps me course correct. It reminds me of what is important. I never get down about myself and my purpose because I know purpose is not a singular day. It is not a singular thing. It is not a singular moment. We're all growing. We're all giving more. We're all trying to get deeper into our appreciation and our gratitude of this life. So go easy on yourself if you don't every single day nail your answers to the questions. It's okay. Be cool with yourself, but be on path to getting more consistent in those areas. As you're more consistent, you'll start to feel more alignment in your life. With that more alignment and that meaning, you'll feel more purpose. Now, for those who are still like, dude, this is too conceptual. Let me go another level down. That's what I'm going to keep doing it with you, just another level down. All these things are going to reconnect you. They're going to make you more intentional, more purpose. What I tell people all the time is, even if this seems too grandiose, if you need a reminder, focus on your questions. If you need even more sort of depth and tactics, because I think it's important when people talk about purpose that they go beyond the very theoretically, stuff of like, cosmos, universe, particles, atoms, God, earth, waves, moon. It's like, come on. It's like, what should I be focusing on in my life so I feel a connection? Well, part of that is this. If I could give anyone just kind of a universal sort of 3 things to focus on outside of what my personal ones are, which is aliveness, love, and making a difference, I think if we can improve these 3 specific areas of our lives, everything goes along with it. You master these 3 things, it helps you master this, it helps you master this, and it helps you master your day. Very, very focused, very razor clear. Improve in these areas, you'll improve your overall life, almost guaranteed. First area, got to improve your energy. It's hard to get better at your mission. It's hard to get better at your relationships. It's hard to get better at your career, your hobbies, even your spiritual well-being if energetically you're always wiped out. It has to be part of our plan and our purpose to improve our health. And when people don't do that, they're losing a range of feeling and emotion in life that would make them feel more well-rounded, more connected, more joyful. It's hard to feel joyful if every day you just feel down, or every day you feel wiped out. Every day you feel completely, heavy, sluggish, tired, stressed, whatever it is for you. Now, we all know that there's times in our lives our health and our energy is not what it should be. Many of you know so much of my story, even my last accident that I had, not the first car accident, when I was 19, but the one I had when I was 36. I had a pretty dramatic car accident. If you guys haven't heard about it, it wasn't a car accident, it was an ATV accident in Mexico. It was in 2011. And it was very, very, very dramatic. I mean, snapped my wrist off basically, threw out my hip, broke a couple ribs, threw out my shoulder, and got a very, very significant brain concussion. And that concussion ended up derailing my life for not a series of weeks or months, but almost 2 years to full recovery, where I just didn't feel life a lot of times. The energy wasn't really there unless it was majorly, like I had to really focus and just give everything to get the energy. So I've been there before. I know many of you have been there before. Sometimes our energy and our health goes down. As you're watching this, let's set an intention to amplify it again, to improve it again. The more energy you have, the better you are with your kids. The more energy you have, the better you are at your art. The more energy you have, the more you feel that sense of well-being and joy that rounds out those feelings of overwhelm or negativity that can come up any day. You know, it's like if you feel energetically good, emotionally and physically, it's easier to handle the times that, chaos reigns in life. When bad things happen, like I'm telling you, if you have a high level of energy, emotionally and physically, then you have an unbelievable ability to handle most things that life throws at you better than almost anybody else. And so all I can share with you, as we work through a high performance, I've hit it over and over and over again, the importance of that base of physiology, of mastering your health. It's why when we talked about the life arenas, the first one I spoke about was your health. We've got to get your health up. So if you're already starting that in this program, great. If you haven't, go back to the physiology section, watch it. I gave recommendations of what to eat, to how to work out, to how to manage your brain, your body, and your breath to amplify your energy. Every hour, are you standing, bouncing in place, closing your eyes, and taking in 10 deep breaths? That one thing, if you did that, would be worth your entire investment in the course because you say, Brendon, my life changed. And I'll say, I know, because we got you moving every hour, which helped align your posture. We helped open your lung capacity, which drew in more oxygenation. With more oxygenation, your neurons fire better in your brain, so you're more mentally clear. They repair better, and they release more hormones to deal with all those other molecules that are released by stress in our life. Suddenly, we start to feel pretty extraordinary from simple things that we can do in our physiology. If you need a purpose, a simple, straightforward purpose, I say go for energy. Because when your energy is higher, you tend to be a better person. It just comes from that. Emotional, physical, spiritual energy. Increasing that, every other part of our life tends to fall into alignment. As long as we also meet the second one, which is focus. Have an intention to improve your focus. I don't know anything more relevant in today's crazy digital world than mastering our focus. So many people are not feeling a life of purpose because they're living a life of distraction. They're constantly pulled in so many directions, because of all the little blue links, all the swipes, all the things they can look at. And their day feels like just a hodgepodge of looking at lots of different things, but not accomplishing anything. And so they feel a life that has a lot of busy work, but they're not doing any of their life's work. And I've told you the stats, you've heard them before when we talk about productivity, that amazingly, most people are watching 4 hours of television a day. That leads to 13 years of their adult life in front of the boob tube. Watching that much television, they're losing over a decade of their life because of 4 hours of distraction a day. And again, TV might not be your drug. Maybe it's apps. Maybe it's little games. Maybe it's just time away from doing anything meaningful with the family. Maybe it's just getting lost in activity each day that doesn't mean anything. But if you add that all together, 4 hours a day, and it adds up to a decade of your life in distraction, like total distraction, then what ends up happening is no wonder you don't feel fulfilled, because that's too big of a hole. To lose a decade of our life, that's a big hole. It's hard to come out of that. So if in that hole, in that distraction, there isn't any real meaning there. Look, many people lose a decade of their life to ill health, to the wrong career, the wrong marriage, the wrong situations in their life, the wrong context, the wrong community. But in that experience, at least they had some moments of meaning and joy and connection that was human, that was real, some moments of accomplishment. But there are no moments of accomplishment and real depth or meaning or joy or human relationships when you're in front of the TV, or you're just constantly watching things that aren't adding to your real growth, to your inspiration, to the betterment of you as a human being. So get rid of that distraction. Make it a real goal, a real sort of decision point in your life to make focus part of your purpose. Because those who I know are very purposeful and very happy, you can't be purposeful without focus. And the problem is a lot of people are flabby in their focus because they haven't practiced it enough throughout the day. So Do the things we talked about in the productivity. Go back. Get your morning handled. If you get your morning handled, you start to build up those focus muscles. And now throughout the day, it's easier to focus because you learn how to do it in the morning. You started off on the right foot. So go back to productivity, do the 5x50 as we talked about, do whatever it takes to learn to have some discipline and focus in your life. I know that's what you've been doing in this course, so I'm celebrating you, but I also hope you feel that some of these things are coming full circle now. That if we had the high level of intention that became a purpose to master our energy and our focus, well, guess what? As we master those two strengths, those two muscles in our life, then we're more likely to organize ourselves to live in a way we're happy with. We're more likely to master the major areas of our life. So it really does come full circle. And that happens also with this last piece, which is kindness. I don't know any greater remedy in the world to all social ills, our emotional dramas, and our challenges than kindness. Not one singular thing. If you could put just a drop of awesome on any situation to improve any problem, it would be kindness. I think it is the most undervalued value. I think it is not thought about in a disciplined way with people. They're kind of nice to people, but a lot of people don't have that intention to be truly kind. To think about, in every interaction they have, how can I be the kind one here? To think about all the things that they serve or all the people who serve them, to think about how can I be kind with this person? They're going through this challenge, they have this need. How can I be generous and kind here? Someone's mad at you. Instead of sparking back and trying to kill them, you say, I wonder if I approach this from a kindness perspective, I'd probably ask them more questions. I'd get curious about what's going on in their life. Let me try and understand where they're coming from here, because maybe their perspective is different than mine. Maybe I don't have to be all-knowing, and instead I can be learning here. So let me ask some questions. Let me meet people with kindness instead of so much aggression in this world. And I think that would cure so many ills. I love that the Dalai Lama says that his religion is kindness. Even as he's a Buddhist and the most followed, most recognized spiritual figure in our world today, I hope he's still alive as you're watching this, that, he's an extraordinary person that just really does emanate that level of happiness and kindness that we'd all love to experience in our own life. And he works very hard at it. He meditates every single day for hours and hours. His whole life has been about how does he deepen his ability to be more kind to people and to emanate happiness and joy and love. And as you think about him, and as you think about yourself, and you think about your creator or your spiritual background, your values or your ethics, everything rests on your ability to show the best of who you are in your relationships. And in your relationships, if you can imbue and give more kindness to others, what we start to experience is true shift. You'll see it on your team, you'll see it in your family, you'll see it in everyone. But too many people don't make it an explicit goal or purpose. They just say I'm a nice person. I'm like, actually, make it a goal to be kind to your waitress. Make it a goal to be kind to your leader. Make it a goal to be kind to those you serve with. Make it a goal to be kind to those that you lead. Make it a goal to be kind to those that you interact with. When that becomes part of the purpose, and again, I'm not trying to give you any one answer here. I'm discussing this from a lot of different angles because purpose is not a singular thing. But if kindness can be one of those focal points that you have, I'll tell you, you will feel more connected to life than ever. There's a magic that opens up. It's almost like God, universe, the cosmos, whatever it is, rewards kind people. Nice people really do. It's not that they finish first, last, second, or third. Nice people don't care where they finish. They're going to do their best. They're going to care for the other people around them. They're going to be the champions. And it's not about what rank and order they finish in. That's not what it's about. It's about who were they on this journey. It's not about positioning. It's not about I want to be first, second, or third. It's I want to live a kind life. I want to be kind to myself, and you should. You should be awfully kind to yourself, extraordinarily kind to yourself. If you messed up, Don't hate on yourself, get down on yourself, scream at yourself, beat yourself up, because then you'll draw into those pools of pessimism and negativity about your life, and you'll drown. You won't feel purpose. It'll be the opposite of living, right? Being mean or hateful to yourself, that's not living. That's not kind. That's not energetically intelligent. So be kind to yourself. When you mess up, acknowledge that you messed up, know that you did the best that you could, or that now you need to have a little more intention to do better next time. But be kind to yourself. And be kind, accepting, allowing to other people. I think this is all common sense. I think the difference is sometimes it's not common practice, and more importantly, it is yet to become a common purpose for people, right? You've got common sense, common practice, and now common purpose. If we could get to a common purpose in which we all said, let's just be more kind to each other in a practical, tactical, everyday interaction level, life would expand in its light and its joy, and I think we'd have a whole different level of interaction, relationships, and purpose. So if I had to give anything, I'd say increase these areas, because by increasing these areas, it allows you to feel a greater sense of purpose, and I would say ultimately achieve your sense of purpose. Last one, easy one, literally a chapter in the Motivation Manifesto, a hallmark to everything that I speak about in my life, everything that I believe in my life, and central to my second organizing life question, which is the idea that we could all amplify love. That, even if you are at the end of your life and you have your family around, you're going to wonder how much you loved. You're going to think about that energy that you gave in life. And a lot of people have misconstrued what love really is. And because they've done that, they see love as a transactional thing. I think love as an energetic thing. I think it is something that unites us all. I believe at a spiritual level that God is love, that God gave love, that God expects love, that is what unites humanity is love, that our sense of belongingness and care for each other. I feel that love is a broader spiritual practice, that we're either choosing fear and aggression in our lives or we're choosing kindness and love. I believe that everything that I've learned about the most purposeful humans that I've ever gotten to meet, including the Dalai Lama, they have this thing that they're not like expecting love from other people. Notice that it doesn't say expect love. It says amplify. It is an energy, it's in your heart, and you living through your heart, that might be the most supreme purpose we could ever experience. That in some level or another, you to be able to connect to a broader consciousness that is love, and you be able to amplify that energy around you. Even when your kids are running around and they're so loving and so happy, if you can take that energy and amplify it with them to another level, so they're just used to it, and that becomes life. That if in your interactions with your team, that they feel a greater depth of connection with you than you're just the corporate person leading them. But no, you're a human. That you've demonstrated your vulnerability, your care, your kindness for them, and that you've amplified this incredible spiritual energy all around us, whatever it is for you. And even if you don't believe in spiritual energy, even if you're like total straight up dude, there is Darwin and there is nothing else, even if you believe that at a scientific level, which is totally cool, and I honor that because everyone's got their different beliefs, even if that's true, then at a very transactional, at a human nature organism level, all that we know is that human beings have to have that love bonding. That bonding is what continues the species. So if you doubt anything, if you doubt the cosmos, if you doubt the world, you doubt God, that's cool. You can't doubt the science. The love bonding is what makes the human species continue on. So if you want to continue that, if you want to go for it, you're all about the evolution, then you still have to amplify love. That energy that unites and connects us. And I would honestly, in my own personal opinion, say expands beyond us. That we can tap into that. We can allow that through. And that we can see that in other people's faces. That we can give that energy out and not expect to get it. Just give it out. Just keep giving. I believe those who amplify love, all the generosity of the universe, of God, of cosmos, of their human relationships, it comes back in waves. It comes back in abundance. It's the most extraordinary thing most people will ever get to experience in their life is when they get out of their own way, open up their heart, allow that positive energy that is love of the universe or of their human desire and drive to flow more freely to other people. There is a sense of magic that comes from that starts to feel much more purposeful. So even if love isn't your ultimate purpose, amplify it, and it will serve your ability to experience all the other things that we spoke about in this course. I think high performers ultimately amplify love better than all those around them. And that's why they hit higher levels of achievement, results, connection, joy, contribution, consciousness than anyone else around them. That's why there are role models. That's why we look to them. And that's why you're here, because now we look to you. Now you're the role model. Now you've got the training. We've done the work. We've been through the program. You're here. So I want to congratulate you and share my love with you. I honor you as a person to have the drive, the desire, the goal, the grit to spend the time to learn about yourself in this program. I hope that you've enjoyed all the tools, all the notes, all the resources, all the videos, all the yammering on from me. I hope that you have found some sense of connection to yourself, some new ambition to get better, some deep desire to live a higher level of intention and joy and magic and love in your own life. And if you'll keep that intention alive, you'll keep those practices alive, you will start to experience every single day of your life a greater level of performance, a greater level of presence, a greater level of purpose. That total state of life high performance, of just knowing you're showing up as your best, you're giving your best, you're caring for those around you, that it can be as simple as the things that we've spoken about here. I talked about it from a lot of different angles because I love you, I care about you, I know that your beliefs are ultimately what are going to shape your life, but so are the ways that you show up each day. Your true performance each day. Measure yourself on it. Be proud about how you're showing up. Show up, give everything that you got every single day. Don't back off because you get scared. If you get scared, revisit the training. You get out of health, revisit the training. You have a bad day, revisit the training. You're not sure where to go, revisit the training. High performance is ultimately about consistent learning and application. Consistent learning, application. This program is here for you for the rest of your life. Revisit it whenever you need to. It's not going to go away. I'm not going to go away. This will last for as long as you want it to. I look forward to working with you in the ongoing coming months as we work through your 12 months of training, of additional high performance training as we go forward. Until then, please go out there every single day of your life. Focus on your high performance. Focus on your purpose. And if I can give you one gift, also add to it, make sure each and every single day you live fully, you love openly, and you make your difference each day.